Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. In our discussion about a few case studies that will vouch for our verse on Ashtavakra Gita, where Ashtavakra tells Raja Janaka, you are not this body and this body is not yours. So stop bothering about what has to be done and what has not to be done and abide in yourself and be happy. Here we discussed that we must never ever do something that in our heart blood at a young age made us foolhardy enough to do and which made us regret in the end at old age because the venom that we had stewed in our younger age will burn ourselves in our older age. Remember that even if there is no witness to your deed, you yourself and the God within you are witnessing your deeds, and so your conscience will not permit you to forget your crimes ever. That is precisely the reason that nemesis strikes even the most wary transgressor. In our first case, vouching for this fact is as follows. There was this lady called Radha. She was born in a very affluent family and married a government servant. This government servant was an extremely selfish, cruel, cunning, conniving, and scheming person with no scruples. As luck favored the couple at one particular juncture, this woman played along with her husband, and the two rubbed several people like their own colleagues, strangers, employees, employers, juniors, subordinates, everybody, to serve their own purpose and to help themselves and their families. This certainly paid off. Though others were pained by these people's machinations, their own family prospered and succeeded. This man had two sons and one daughter. This couple had two sons and one daughter. All the three were brilliant, and thanks to their cunning, they also succeeded professionally. However, the victim of the machinations of the father and mother was the eldest son more than the younger two siblings. After some time, when they had come to a level in success, suddenly this woman's conscience started pricking her. she began believing that she and her husband were not just to others, and that her being a witness to her husband's machinations was not correct. This woman went mad. After some time, the eldest son, who had by then become a great doctor, was caught red handed and imprisoned in a small town in India. This made this woman mad again. However, they were not to learn from this bitter experience. They came to a metropolis in India where this guy started doing his private practice as a doctor. They made a lot of money and became very, very rich. The younger son went away to some foreign country, and the younger daughter started practicing elsewhere as a doctor in some other state. However, now nemesis struck. The father was already in his 70s, and she herself, that is Radha, the wife, was already in her 70s too. This eldest son was caught red handed doing the same crime for which he had been imprisoned before. This time he got 28 years in prison. The shock was too much for this woman. She had no other go but to wallow in self sympathy and stew in her own juice. The venom that they had spewed long back had come back to burn her psyche. She was distraught and angry at herself, her husband, son, and the world. Unfortunately, her younger son, who was abroad, was told in no uncertain terms by the Indian government that if he tries to come back, he will be arrested. Hence, this person could not come back to India. This woman cried her heart out because one son was now in prison and the other was abroad. Distraught beyond control, beyond limits, this woman regretted her past and died a miserable death. This husband of hers went back to his home village and passed into oblivion. 14 years later, this son who was in prison had to pay some money to get himself released, and then he also went and joined his father in the home village. A person who had done practice in England and who was a very big surgeon and he had very good talents, etc., could have minted money like nobody's business. But this reputed surgeon had to spend years in prison, as a result of which his license to license to practice was cancelled by the medical council, and he was reduced to going back and do some business in his home village. This is what happens if in your hot blood in young age you do something that you have to repay for in your old age. Kindly let me know what you think of this story. If you feel that what I have told is interesting, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that I can keep reminding you of my past and future videos. Till we meet in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan.